Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show, presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Lovely to have you along for the ride. So much to get into today. Sixers get the big win over the Miami Heat. Kenny Pickett addresses the media yesterday, says everything right. Everything right. I know some people in Pittsburgh might have they might have a problem with some of the things he said about how he handled it right in Pittsburgh. Oh, he should stay with the team. He was drafted by the team. He should stay with the team. The guy got demoted. I have no problem with him wanting to go work somewhere else. All right? Good for him. Eagles have a good backup quarterback as far as I'm concerned, and that's really the only thing that matters in all of this. But says all the right things about coming here. When you're a backup quarterback, you should say this phrase, especially when you have a franchise quarterback already in place that has signed a very lucrative deal as Jalen Hurts, which is, I'm here to help the team win in any way that I can. That's it. That's like one of those things. Like, you know that scene in Bull Durham when Kevin Costner's on the bus with Tim Robbins there, and he's like, just write it down. Good Lord willing, things will work out. I'm just here to help the ball club, blah, 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 blah. That is such a true to form phrase and scene in the movie. It's real life imitating art imitating real life. All right? That's what it is. And I love it. And that's basically what Kenny Pickett did yesterday. Whether he really believes it or not, that's exactly what you want to hear from your backup quarterback. We'll get to that. We'll get into his fandom for the Philadelphia Eagles, despite growing up, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, an Eagles fan, but growing up in Giants country. He gets asked about that specifically, so we'll talk about that. Also, the 49ers, keep it in the NFL. Two other things in the NFL here. The 49ers get in trouble by the league and docked a draft pick and knocked back a couple more because of a clerical error with their payroll. They claim they got no competitive advantage over it, but do you believe them? I don't. We'll get into that conversation. And then finally with the NFL and the Eagles, they finally get some respect. Damn it. We talked just yesterday about how there were people like Pro Football Focus. There were people, some people at CBS Sports. The writer I'm about to show you is not one of them, but some of them, not giving the Eagles good grades. Not giving the Eagles good grades at all. We talked about that yesterday when it came to what the Eagles were bringing to the table as far as Super Bowl odds, Saquon Barkley's over-unders, and national media not giving the Eagles respect, with pretty much the argument being, well, they already got better in a place that they were pretty damn good at, and that's on the offense. Saquon Barkley only is another weapon on an already great offense. Okay, but if you add Saquon Barkley, do you not become even better? Do you not become, hopefully, a number one offense in the NFL? Anyway. The Eagles finally got some love over what they've been doing in free agency over this offseason. I don't know if Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was the guy that put it over the top. Kenny Pickett's not technically free agent, but it's an offseason. When you talk about offseason grades, the Eagles are pretty good. They deserve to be pretty good to this point. So they finally got some respect, and we'll put that out there. And something in hockey, believe it or not, that I'm going to mention towards the end of the show. For those that are tuning in today to simply see me get dunked by Gritty at the Flyers charities, I don't know what the hell happened with the video. It's just all sorts of messed up. So I'm going to have to get that back to you guys tomorrow, maybe even on social media a little bit later today. And then finally, one other thing we'll talk about. You can't have it all. Blake Snell, 2 years, $62 million with the San Francisco Giants. So he will not be coming to Philadelphia. Wah, wah. I guess we'll just have to make do with the pretty awesome pitching staff the Phillies have put together so far. Let's start it off, ladies and gentlemen, with Kenny Pickett. We'll get into the 76ers. We have Nick Nurse for you talking about last night's victory, what it means for the Sixers. We'll get into that in a second, but let's start it off with Kenny Pickett because I know you guys are always Eagles crazed all the time. Kenny Pickett addressed the media yesterday. Again, said all the right things. Just here to help the ball club. Love to hear it. That's exactly what you want to hear. I want to hear a guy with a little bit of competitive edge. And for the people that say this, like, you might have someone like this in your friend group. Whenever the backup quarterback, especially, again, when the franchise quarterback is already entrenched, as Jalen Hurts is, when the backup quarterback gets signed, no matter who it is, there could be a little controversy later on in the season. This guy could start. Okay, let's just take that, bowl it up. As I said yesterday, throw it out the window. For those that didn't hear me say it yesterday, throw it out the window. That's not what we're talking about. The backup quarterback position, and I find it crazy that there are still people in the city of Philadelphia, there are still people amongst the Eagles fan base that don't give a damn about the backup quarterback. I care about the backup. It might be the only position that you really hope never plays, but you care about the position. The backup quarterback. In Philadelphia, where the only Super Bowl that we have enjoyed as a fan base was won by a backup quarterback, it should be pretty important and known that it's a pretty important position. So Kenny Pickett being here kind of matters, all right? I'm going to steal a line from Drew Bledsoe, who said this on a national scale. Tom Brady's gone on to have a pretty good career for a backup quarterback. It's a great opening line for Drew Bledsoe, and I enjoy every time he said it. But the backup quarterback matters. So Kenny Pickett being here is kind of a big deal, and we should understand that. Now, better than most fan bases, like here in Philadelphia. When I look at Kenny Pickett, I look at a quarterback that's mobile. I look at a quarterback that, can't do everything that Jalen Hurts can do, certainly, but he can run. He can buy time behind the line of scrimmage. He doesn't have a cannon for an arm. He's not precision accuracy. He wasn't a number one overall pick that was clearly going to be the cornerstone of a franchise for years to come. He was a 20th overall pick, but he was still a first-round pick and still a quarterback. At one point, Pittsburgh said, yeah, you know what? This guy might be the guy that could actually help us win some football games over the long term as the quarterback of our team. He might be the guy that could take over from Ben Roethlisberger and be that next franchise quarterback. The Eagles liked him enough to the point where Howie Roseman actually went out and scouted him as a quarterback during the season. Doesn't do that too often. Next to never. Let's put it that way. Next to never for Howie Roseman. So there's been some interest there from the Philadelphia Eagles. Marcus Mariota signed here with the Philadelphia Eagles a year ago. The same argument I made for Marcus Mariota is the same argument I'm making for Kenny Pickett. Can do similar things in terms of mobility. To the degree, to the level, absolutely not. But he's not afraid to get out of the pocket. He's not afraid to buy that time. He's not afraid to run for a first down, similarly to a guy like Jalen Hurts. Not of the same athleticism, let's not get crazy, but of the same style, a similar style. We'll put it like that. I feel he is a good pickup at the backup quarterback position. As I said yesterday, I would still have rather the Eagles gone out and maybe get a guy like Joe Flacco who can hold the fort down for a couple of games if Jalen Hurts, God forbid, gets injured and needs to miss some time. Not unlike a guy like Gardner Minshew, for instance, when he was here in Philadelphia. But Kenny Pickett, the interesting thing here, and it's something that I normally never care about. If somebody grew up an Eagles fan, if somebody grew up a Sixers fan, gets to play for the Sixers or Phillies, whatever. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Kenny Pickett got into it yesterday. When talking about just coming to Philadelphia, where it all started for him as far as being a football fan and going to games, despite growing up in Ocean Township, New Jersey, which again is more North Jersey. It's more Giants country, if anything, in the NFC. He still grew up an Eagles fan and would come down to Lincoln Financial Field to go to games with his father and grandfather. Here he is talking about it yesterday.
It's pretty unbelievable, honestly. I've been coming to games at the Link since I was like 5 years old. I have great memories of my dad taking me here, my grandfather, all my family members coming out to the games, together and just having great memories. And the fact that, hopefully, I can help provide some great memories for some other families now coming up. It's pretty surreal and a full circle moment for me.
That second part is the part that's really cool. I've heard plenty of players talk about, my father took me here, my grandfather took me, we come here with my family, it'd be at the lake, whatever. One of my favorite stories ever is, I know it's a hot button for some people, but Mike Trout being with the Angels organization and saying to his father, we just got Roy Halladay. And it's like, you can't say that anymore. You're literally with the Angels. This is another baseball team you're talking about here. You can't say that. But still, that fandom is so deep in him and in the same sport that he just can't let it go. Kenny Pickett talking about going to games. I've heard it before. But when I hear him talk about creating memories for other players, again, or for other fans as a player, that's pretty damn cool. That's something you don't hear about too often. Now, on the same note, I hope you don't get the opportunity to create those memories because you don't want your starting quarterback ever going out, obviously. But if he gets the opportunity, he wants to create that one moment. He wants to create a moment, if he gets the opportunity, whether it's week 18 and the Eagles have already locked up the number one seed in the NFC and he gets a chance to play because they want to rest Jalen Hurts. He wants to create that opportunity Or he wants to create that memory for a fan that's at the game. They're like, yeah, Dad, remember they went to that game and Kenny Pickett actually played and actually threw that touchdown pass? That's kind of cool when he's thinking of the fans in that regard, that he wants to create memories that he had created for him by the players that he admired. Now, Ruben Frank, NBC Sports Philly, followed up with him about his memories and about guys that he really liked when he was growing up as an Eagles fan.
Thinking Ocean Township's more Giants territory.
It is.
How did you end up being an Eagles fan? Any favorite players back then?
Yeah, my dad grew up in Philly for a couple of years before he went over to Ocean Township. So I think that's where it started, and he passed it down to me. But off the top of my head, McNabb, Westbrook, Dawkins, Selleck, Trotter, Curse, just those coming up, those were my guys. So I know vivid memories of them running out of the tunnel. Now that I'll be doing that same trot, I'm pretty excited.
I thought that was more my generation, but I guess he's just right there, But the fact that he can just rattle those names off, all right, you're allowed. We'll accept it. We like it. I think that the guy has a wonderful respect for the tradition, culture here in Philadelphia. And one of the things I did find interesting, despite all the fandom, one word that was not said, and I always highlight this word when it gets said, as it was said by Bryce Huff, as it was said by Saquon Barkley, culture. As it was said by Zach Bond, culture. Even without Fletcher Cox defensively, even without Jason Kelce offensively, culture was still the buzzword. It's just one thing. I'm not saying that's a negative thing. I'm just saying it's an odd thing. That if a guy who grew up here, grew up as a fan, grew up among the fan base, right? It's funny. It was interesting. It was one of the things that did not make it into Kenny Pickett's speech yesterday, or his press conference. All right. But bottom line is, when it comes to the backup quarterback position, I feel like the Eagles have a good backup quarterback. Now let's do the thing we should really do with every backup quarterback. Hope he never has to play. Unless, again, it's week 18 and the Eagles have already locked up the number one seed in the NFC, and all is right with the world. Hey, speaking of the NFC, have you guys seen this story about the San Francisco 49ers? This is a beautiful thing. This popped up on ESPN alerts for me yesterday, and I was like, 49ers in trouble? What? All right, I'll give you this before I give you the really good news about your Philadelphia Eagles and then finally getting some damn respect. Here you go. San Francisco 49ers. This is from ESPN. San Francisco 49ers have forfeited a 2025 draft choice and were penalized 4 spots for a selection in this year's draft as a result of administrative payroll accounting errors. This, according to the NFL, as they announced yesterday. The 49ers will give up their original 5th-round choice in next year's draft and have their 2024 4th-round selection move from 131 to 135, the 135th overall pick in the draft. Okay? It goes on to say in this story, well, that's weird. Stop doing that. There we go. The 49ers take full responsibility and accept the imposed discipline from the NFL due to a clerical payroll error, the Niners released in a statement. At no time, this is from the 49ers still, at no time did we mislead or otherwise deceive the league or gain a competitive advantage in connection with the payroll mistake. Usually, I just appreciate Howie Roseman for just being a cap wizard and knowing how to manipulate the hell out of the cap. Better than anybody in the NFL. Certainly better than the Dallas Cowboys that are in a boatload of trouble right now, which is so enjoyable. And not only do I praise him for being amazing, I'm going to go ahead and praise him for not making clerical errors, especially on the payroll. So here's my thing. If the San Francisco 49ers, all right, though they say they gained no advantage, all right, if the San Francisco 49ers didn't gain any sort of advantage out of this, then why are they being docked a pick and being moved back for selection spots? And you do that just because you didn't add right or you didn't report a number correctly? That just seems odd to me. Like, to lose a pick, that's weird. To also get bumped back 4 spots is also weird. That being docked picks is I know it's 4th round, okay? I get it, but still, we wouldn't like that if it was Philadelphia. we'd be asking questions. Well, where the hell did this come from? How did this happen? What's the deal? To me, you don't get docked picks for I didn't put the decimal point right here. Like a little error, or I used a staple instead of a paper clip. Like that. It seems to me that there's more to this story, being that the explanation is one thing and the penalty is another. The penalty makes it seem like it's a lot more serious. I feel like in the coming days, or maybe as we lead up to even the regular season, there's going to be more on this. But it just seems really weird to me that the 49ers are the only team in the NFL that did this little thing wrong, and they're being docked picks, essentially. One pick fully taken away, the other being pushed back a couple spots. That's still weird to me. It suggests that the penalty is more than the 49ers are playing it. Now, you distill it even further. Of course it is. Of course the 49ers are going to downplay it like nothing was, there's no competitive advantage gained. I don't believe you. 49ers. Keeping it in the NFL, if you haven't seen this, the Eagles for a while now, through free agency, trades, whatever the case may be, have not been getting, believe it or not, despite adding a third wide receiver in Devontae Parker, despite adding Saquon Barkley, headline news, despite even the coordinators being added, which I guess goes into no consideration whatsoever. Despite adding Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the Eagles in this offseason have not received high marks. Pro Football Focus seems to not think that they're that great. One of the CBS writers thinks they're not that great. B- was one grade given out. Are you serious? Are you serious? Finally, one of the writers for CBS, Garrett Pottle, put this out there regarding the NFL free agency grades. Wouldn't you know it? Only 3 teams made A grades. A apparently was the highest you could go. The Atlanta Falcons, who added a quarterback in Kirk Cousins. The Philadelphia Eagles, how about that? They get an A. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, dominance by the state of Pennsylvania in free agency. The Steelers also get a quarterback. Now, here's what I find fascinating about this. 2 of the 3 A grades here by Garrett Pottle of CBS Sports added starting quarterbacks to their rosters. The Eagles added a running back as their top spot. That's supposed to be a position of disrespect in the NFL. Not anymore. Eagles getting top priority here. Top billing here when it comes to getting the A grade amongst 2 other teams that added starting quarterbacks. That's pretty damn good. Now, you see the Ravens right there. They got Derrick Henry, of course. They got the A-. The Packers, they get Xavier McKinney. He gets the A- as well. And then you go on down the list here. The Lions are at a B+. The Browns are at a B+. Texans at a B+. Jaguars, B+. The Kansas City Chiefs, B+. Rams, another NFC team there, B+, as does the Seattle Seahawks. So that's where they're at. Washington gets a B+ as well. And then let's flip it over to the other side here. Oh, let's keep going down to the Giants get a B. Oh, okay, fine. San Francisco gets a B. No, Dak picks now. All right. And then the Dallas Cowboys. Now you're going to keep going down the list if you're still looking down the list. For the people on the podcast, we're still going down the list. All right. Still going down, down. The New York Jets get a D+. They lost Bryce Huff, most notably. Okay. The Dallas Cowboys are below the New York Jets, just above the New Orleans Saints, above the Denver Broncos, who lost Russell Wilson. They get an F. The Dallas Cowboys have a D in free agency, while your Philadelphia Eagles have an A. Tied for the top spot, third from the bottom. Your Dallas Cowboys, ladies and gentlemen. Did I say maybe I was talking to Cowboys fans. I saw this right before I was starting the show today, and it was about the Dallas Cowboys, how they've restructured. They converted base salary to signing bonus, $5 million with Dak Prescott. Now, they could decrease his cap hit even further. Now, even with that, the numbers for Bill Colarulo last week, our friend Bill Colarulo, are still true. That the Eagles I think it's Barkley, Brown, Smith, and Hurts all have a smaller cap hit combined than Dak Prescott. So that's still true because it's only $5 million alleviated from Dak Prescott's money, okay, for the Cowboys. Now the Cowboys have to work out a deal with, was it CeeDee Lamb and Zach Martin? And they can still work out a long-term deal with Dak Prescott in order to decrease the number further? Look, you shouldn't bask in other people's misery, but when it's the Cowboys, you bask in it. It's glorious. Nothing, I got to be honest with you. When the Cowboys won the division this past year, and they're puffing their chests out, it's just like the Cowboys are the definition of fool's gold. Like, they can look really good right on the surface, like during the regular season, but then when you really get down to it, they can be really bad. And the Packers certainly helped the Eagles out in that regard in terms of the Eagles. Here's the biggest difference. The Eagles during the season at 10-1, all right? I think most Eagles fans went, okay, they're 10-1, but I think on the other side of things, if the Cowboys were winning games in that way, Cowboys fans would be like, we won the Super Bowl. This is incredible. I don't think the Eagles fans really. What I'm saying is Eagles fans are real. Cowboys fans, not so much. Because they're desperate for that big win again. That playoff run. They're desperate for another Super Bowl. And they give them all the credit. All the Super Bowls they got with 5 in their history. That's pretty great. Eagles won, so I get that. The Eagles have won. But when it comes to, like, who's going to win tomorrow, like, what have you done for me today, and what are you going to do for me tomorrow? That's really the only thing that matters. The Eagles are a hell of a lot closer than the Cowboys in that regard. And that was true this year. And now you're talking about just going through free agency so far this year, and the Cowboys are at a D? How about them boys in Big D? All right. Your Philadelphia 76ers. Let me just put this up here one more time just because Eagles finally getting that A. Love it. And then just one more time, the Cowboys getting a D. That's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, last night was a big game for your 76ers. Huge game for your 10-9-8 76ers, okay? They're playing the Miami Heat. Miami Heat don't have Jimmy Butler running for them, unfortunately. But I don't care. The Sixers don't have Joel Embiid. So I literally do not care. The Sixers have to win games. The Sixers have to find ways to win games. And wouldn't you know it, the Sixers go up 17 points late in the third quarter, and I'm thinking, please, this game started a half hour late. I'm going to be totally honest with you. The missus, she had off from work yesterday, so we had a little boozy brunch, the two of us, turned into a boozy afternoon. Little fire started in the backyard. I'm having a glass of bourbon. I got to sober up, and then, we got to be parents again. So that was my day yesterday. So towards the end of the day, I'm like, all right, 7:30 start time. I got this, no problem. I'm starting to fade a little bit that third quarter. The Sixers are not making a game of it. They're just blowing out the Miami Heat. It's a 17-point game. And then all of a sudden, when just I was getting my hopes up that I can go to bed. The Sixers are going to be up 30. Bam Adebayo hits a 3. Cuts the lead to 11. Then they go on a bit of a run. And I'm like, damn it. Staying up for this whole game. And Tyrese Maxey and Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo, jeez. Mo Bamba made it very much worth it. Look, do you want to see your team sputter and blow a 17-point lead to the point where they ended up having things tied at 85, I believe was the tie score? Yeah. No, I don't want them to do that. I want them to control the game, do the old step on their throat, put them out of their misery type thing right towards the end of the game. That didn't happen. And one of the things that also goes along with me not giving a damn as to whether or not Joel Embiid played in this game or Jimmy Butler played in this game is that Tyrese Maxey has to help be that guy that can put a team away. He dropped 30 last night, player of the game. Great to see that and all that. Kyle Lowry last night. Like, Maxey, for me, is growing into that role. He will be that killer if he's not already. Like, I'm talking about consistency. In the years in the future, Joel Embiid just turned 30 over the weekend. Happy belated birthday, JoJo. But in the years of the future, Tyrese Maxey will grow more and more into that role, and I believe he can already be that player. But Kyle Lowry showed his worth last night. Something I did not expect when the Sixers acquired him in terms of the amount of minutes he's been playing. But in terms of what I really expected from him was to be that dog that the 76ers don't have anymore now that PJ Tucker's not here, now that Marcus Morris isn't here, now that Patrick Beverley isn't here. Now that those guys had long stints with the Sixers and all, but you need somebody on this team that is going to get in the face of Tyrese Maxey. Not that they always need it, but a guy that will, put the quarter in the machine to rev the engine, The same thing that PJ Tucker did for Joel Embiid last year in the playoffs. You think you're done right now? You got to keep digging. You got to keep pushing. You got to find that other side, man. Get through the other side of it. And Joel Embiid did last year in the playoffs for at least one game. That's what Kyle Lowry does. That's what he brings to the table. That's what I knew he was going to bring to the table. I did not expect. And what did he end up with? What did he end up with last night? I know it was pretty damn ridiculous as far as his minutes played, but his minutes played have been far more than I expected from Kyle Lowry since he joined the 76ers. It has been, 35 minutes last night for Kyle Lowry. I did not expect this. You look at his last couple of games, 35 minutes, 29 minutes, 27 minutes, 21 minutes, 31 minutes. I didn't expect that. I expected 15 to 20 from Kyle Lowry. D'Anthony Melton being hurt, Maxey having a concussion. Time has been ticked up there a little bit for Kyle Lowry. I did not expect the minutes that he put in. But last night, just to run through the end of the game, the 76ers opened up that 17-point lead. Things were looking fantastic. And then things started to fall by the wayside, unfortunately. 85-85 with about 6:35 left in the game. Buddy Hield hits a three. Sixers go up 88-85. Lowry then comes down with about 3:10 left in the game in the fourth quarter there. Makes it 91-87. Has a driving layup to help the Sixers out. And then with about a minute 30 left, helps ice it. Including somewhere in between all of it, dives into Matty Cord, the Sixers PA announcer. Matty did the right thing, protected the microphone. That's what you do. I got to use that microphone on Saturday night for the Wings game. All right, so you protect that microphone, Matty Cord. And he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Kyle Lowry goes diving over the bench, right past Matty Cord, hits the ground. They pick him up, put him in the game. But after the game, Nick Nurse talked about the importance of Kyle Lowry and what he was saying during that run, especially when the Sixers went up 17 points. Here's Nick Nurse after the game.
I mean, they're going to fight, right? And they weren't ever going to quit. Kyle kept reminding everybody on the bench that they weren't going to quit even when we had a 17-point lead or whatever it was. And they had a great run, and we responded pretty good there at the end.
They absolutely responded well. And you want to hear a guy like Kyle Lowry earn that reputation of being that fighter, of being that dog, of being a vocal leader on and off the court. Here's the thing. You can be that guy that's rah-rah, poly-pom-poms, whatever you want to do, whatever you call it. Some people think of it as just high school Harry. We talk about it, Sean Kilrain, of course, terming Nick Sirianni Chiriani, right? For me, when you look across the board, if you have players like that that are loud, if you have players like that that want to lead with their mouth, they better do it on the surface of play, in this case, the hardwood. So you have Kyle Lowry on the bench saying, here they come. We're up 17. Bam's going to hit. I mean, he just played with these guys, of course. Kyle Lowry would know better than anybody. So Kyle Lowry said, here they come. You better keep fighting. They're not done fighting. They punch you, you better punch right back. If you're saying that, if you're flapping your jaw like that as a quote-unquote leader on the bench, then when you step onto the court or you step out of that huddle and you get back into the game, you also better sure as hell be the guy diving over the scorer's table for a loose ball. You better be that guy. Kyle Lowry is every bit of that guy. Right. I'm not a Cardinal Dougherty guy, okay? I'm an Archbishop Wood guy, okay? Catholic League guy, okay? That's Catholic League basketball, baby. Diving over the scorer's bench, showing your team how to do it. Not that I ever do that. My spot was on the bench freshman year. But anyway, I digress. If you're going to be that guy, and I'm thinking of it as the game's going on, and Lowry knocks down the three. Lowry knocks down that the layup there to help extend the Sixers lead to 5. I think it was, whatever my notes have there. That's the guy that you want. That's what I'm thinking of Kyle Lowry. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, what is he saying on this team to help keep these guys focused? What is he going to do on the court? And we saw everything from the hustle to hitting the shots. That's what you want to see. Also, I got to say this about Kelly Oubre. Last night, and I said this a little bit, I said this yesterday, I mentioned this yesterday, but last night it really showed. The aggression I'm seeing from Kelly Oubre attacking the rim. Like, he's never shy. Like, the guy wants to shoot. He wants to score. All the credit in the world for that. You want that guy to have that mentality. But what I've been seeing over the last couple of weeks here from Kelly Oubre is a guy looking to punish the rim. And a guy looking to be a rim protector as well. And last night's game in particular, a number of occasions where he just attacked the rim. There was that great play towards the end of the game. I think it was a second chance points. Sixers got the rebound, kick it outside. I think it was Lowry to Bamba on the baseline to Oubre for the dunk. And that's the type of aggressive basketball you want to see. If you're a Sixers fan and you're watching this team play without Joel Embiid and they're trying to scratch and claw and fight for wins and learn how to win without the reigning MVP of the regular season and Joel Embiid, you want to see exactly what the Sixers did last night. And you saw everybody really contributing in the game last night, especially. I mean, you talked about Maxey with 30 points and 10 assists, by the way, 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double. Kelly Oubre goes up to get to the double-double with 11 rebounds and 22 points. Buddy Hield knocked down a big three for you late in that game, as I mentioned. He got 12 points on the night, 2 of 7 from me on the arc. I'm going to do a little bit better. And he played 24 minutes. Paul Reed had some big boards for you as well. I mean, all in all, don't tell me that the Heat didn't have anybody really playing for him. Didn't have Jimmy Butler, I should say. Bottom line is Terry Rozier caught fire, helped him get back into the game. I was having flashbacks of, what was it, 2016, 2017? Was that the playoff series where Ben Simmons was held to 1 point in one of those games and Terry Rozier just put the Sixers over his knee? It's like, who the hell is this guy? Anyway, but yeah, having flashbacks to that last night. The Sixers just found a way to win. One last thing on the 76ers win last night. What it means overall. With the play-in tournament, as the standings dictate now. By the way, I saw something last night that I've never seen before. I saw ESPN only put up seeds 3 through 11. So they took out Boston, they took out Milwaukee. Like, those are the 2 teams they took away, and they only put up the third seed to the 11th seed. All right, so the Sixers with last night's win jump a full game over the Heat. Sixers move into the 6th playoff seed in the Eastern Conference. So not the play-in tournament, 6th playoff seed. The Indiana Pacers are a half game behind them. The Miami Heat are 17 or a full game behind them. Sixers are 2 games behind the Orlando Magic. Now, here's what's interesting here, okay? ESPN puts up the graphic, seeds 3 through 11. Cavs lead the spot. So the Cavs are right there in that 3rd seed. They're 2 games over the Magic. 3 games. This is for the 3rd seed, okay? This is not the top seed in the Eastern Conference. This is important because of the play-in tournament now. Cavaliers are in 3rd securely by 2 games over the Knicks. Magic are 3 games out. Sixers are 5 games out. So basically, you got the Celtics and the Bucks at the top spot. But in actuality, the Bucks are only a game better than the Cleveland Cavaliers. So are they predicting that the Bucks are going to go on some kind of run here? Doc Rivers going to lead the charge for the Bucks to have a second half run? The Cavs are in that 3rd seed, even though they're only a game behind the Bucks. Then the Knicks 2 games out, Magic 3 games out, Sixers 5 games out. That's how they have to make sense of it in the NBA. Do I get it? Do I understand it? No. But Nick Nurse last night after the game was asked about the importance of beating the Heat on a night like last night. And his focus wasn't as much the play-in tournament as it was just the overall tiebreaker against the Heat as the season goes on.
I mean, it's good, I think, and it still gives us a chance to – I think we got to play them again, don't we? So it gives us a chance to at least level up the tiebreaker, or maybe possibly win the tiebreaker if we can go down there and get them again. So it gives us a chance on that if we end up the win's the most important thing, right? And a couple in a row. And again, I think it's like, I think we play some really good basketball at times, and I think we play some really shaky basketball at times, right? I just wish that there was more times where we looked just a little more confident against some things, right? But there was some really great defense. I thought our ball pressure was amazing. I thought our shot challenging. We're protecting the rim. You know, we're doing a lot of good things. Just try to get some of that really poor play to average, and then the games are probably going to look a lot better. You know what I mean? Yeah.
If we could just get that poor play and just make an average play, that's it. Then we're fine. Like the way they ended the way they started the fourth quarter. Last night, one last thing on the game in itself. One of the things I really noticed with Joel Embiid being out and DeAnthony Melton is the first unit and the second unit, the difference between the two. This might be Captain Obvious, but damn, I think it's just such a glaring difference. Like, you watch this team with Maxey on the floor, watch them without Maxey on the floor, and it's like, holy Lord. Like the beginning of the second quarter, Maxey, and he even talked about this last night, just getting used to playing pretty much the entire first quarter and then sitting for a lot of the second quarter, coming out for most of the third, sitting early in the fourth, like this kind of rotation that he's on right now with Joel Embiid being out. But you really notice the difference, man. Woof. Really notice the difference between the first unit and the second unit. And this is against the Heat team that doesn't have most of their first unit. It doesn't have their best player in Jimmy Butler. But last night, you really noticed it. So here's where the Sixers are at. They now go on a West Coast trip. This is why it's important to stack the win, okay? They got a 10 o'clock start time tomorrow night against the Phoenix Suns, 10:30 start time in Los Angeles against the Lakers on Friday, and then Sunday afternoon, 3:30 against the Clippers, and then 10 o'clock against Sacramento on Monday. So West Coast trip for your 10-9-8 76ers coming up here over the next 4 games. Then they host James Harden and the Clippers on the 27th on Wednesday. That game will be on ESPN. A shocker. Sixers, by the way, do remain confident that Joel Embiid will be able to come back and play. 14 games left in the season. Last game of the season is April 14th against the Brooklyn Nets, 1 o'clock in South Philly. By the way, the Phillies, geez Louise, the 76ers do finish their last 3 games of the season are at home. So take that for what it's worth. Detroit, Orlando, that'll be a big game, probably seeding wise, and then Brooklyn, which should be a gimme. Damn it, should be a gimme. One last thing before I get to our sponsors and our chat check. Hassan Reddick. So we've been trying to follow this bouncing ball here with Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat. I originally thought Hassan Reddick was going to be the one staying. Josh Sweat was going to be the one traded. Josh Sweat gets re-upped with the Eagles. Hassan Reddick, according to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, put it out there saying that the Eagles are moving Hassan Reddick's deal $1 million. They're moving it to April 1st in order to give them a little bit more wiggle room, according to Jeremy Fowler, to trade Hassan Reddick. Not exactly something I want to happen. I've been rooting against it from the start. But this seems to be the direction the Eagles are headed. This has been a difficult story to follow because a lot of people, myself included, have been wrong on where this is going to end up. But according to Fowler, Eagles are moving Hassan Reddick's $1 million roster bonus, originally due March 15th to April 1st. In theory, this buys Philly time for a potential trade before having to pay the money. Okay. I think the guy's pretty damn good at getting after the quarterback. And as I've been saying this entire time with Vic Fangio, if you're not going to be dialing up blitzes and you're going to have someone try to win a one-on-one battle, I want one of those guys. Bryce Huff's nice. I like Bryce Huff. I like the signing. It's still a little bit of a dice roll. He's got one proven year under his belt. He's going to have to play against the run a hell of a lot more. Is he ready to do that? He says he is. We talked to Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic, who covers the Jets. He said this guy's going to be ready for the challenge. Let's hope that's the case. Hassan Reddick is a proven commodity. Maybe the Eagles are just ready to move on. That's certainly what it appears to be, unfortunately. Let's get into the fine people of MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Download the app. Create an account, use promo code Farzy, and get up to $1,000 redeemable cash bonus with MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Take advantage of all they have to offer at mybookie.ag. Ladies and gentlemen, that's mybookie.ag. Use promo code Farzy, get up to $1,000, and let the games begin. You can bet on your Sixers. You can bet on your Flyers. You can bet on television, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Who's going to end up with who? How does it end? It all happens at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. You can even bet on the world of politics if that's your thing. It's not mine, but it might be your thing. You can bet on it all. MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Want to go to the game? Want to go to the concert? Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone. Use promo code Farzy, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase at the Game Time app. Download the app. Use the promo code Farzy. $20 off. $20 off your first purchase. So if you want to go to the concert, the big event, the game, comedy show, whatever the case may be, get your tickets at the Game Time app and have yourself a good time. The Game Time app also, ladies and gentlemen, has last-minute ticket deals, flash ticket deals, even ticket deals for an hour after the event starts. So you might miss the opening act. You might miss the middle act, but you still see the headliner. Mega huge Kajunga savings when you do that on the Game Time app. Also, all-in pricing, so there's no surprises at the end. $40 in service fees. What the hell? No, not on the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone. Have yourself a good time on the Game Time app. How about PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's phlsportsnation.com. Let's get into the chat check and see how you wonderful people are doing on this fine Tuesday morning. Last week kind of screwed us over a little bit. 72 degrees. Going to be like 48 today. Bush League, Mother Nature. Bush League. Officially spring tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Twiz, what's going on? Good morning. IBH, good morning. Daniel, what's going on? Sean Kellrain, what's going on? Twiz, if Kellen can scheme guys open and Jalen doesn't have to play hero ball, we should be one of the most explosive offenses in the league. Twiz, I'm with you. And when I say I'm with you, I mean I'm with you. Sean Kilrain, Eagles removing a salary Reddick's $1 million roster, most originally due to sources. Would you trade him? And if so, why? You got to keep him, in my opinion. I'm keeping him, Sean. I'm keeping him. I want him here. I don't, other than drafting and getting younger at the defensive end positions or edge rusher positions, I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe, as I've been pointing out for the last, I don't know how many months it's been now, December, January, February, March, 4 months, about maybe the Eagles didn't like him airing the grievances, airing the dirty laundry about how the higher-ups made the decision to move on from Sean Desai. I don't know. I think the guy is worth keeping around. I think the guy can still be very productive. I think wherever else he goes, he's going to be successful. He's going to be good. He's going to have numbers that are going to be, oh, damn, wish that was here, you know. Maybe it came down to Brandon Graham versus Hassan Reddick. If that's the case, that's stupid. I don't like it. I would keep him here. I don't want to trade him. If it was between him and Josh Sweat, I'd rather trade Josh Sweat. David, what's going on? Good morning, Fly Eagles Fly. April. Good morning, April. Carlos. Yo, Carlos. Wait, what? YouTube? Oh, YouTube. Get your grimy little hands off my people. Everyone's saying good morning. I just love when everyone says good morning to everybody. It makes me happy. Carlos, hello again. Jeff, what's up, man? Morning. Eagles offense is Super Bowl ready. Hurts, AJ, Smith, Goddard, Barkley is better than Purdy, Kittles, Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey. Beep, bop, 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 bop. Yes, absolutely. You know what I think really puts him over the top? And I'm going to tell you right now. It's Hurts. Brock Purdy, by the way. Okay, let me answer this question first, then I'll get to my Family Guy brain. Jalen Hurts is better than Brock Purdy. I have more confidence in Jalen Hurts making a play for my team than I do Brock Purdy making the play. So that's why I would have more confidence in the Eagles core than the 49ers core. Also, the 49ers, with their salary cap cheating. Come on. How do I trust them? No. By the way, did you see this? So Brock Purdy got married. This might be old, but I just saw it yesterday, so it's new to me. So the big knock on, thank you, Jeff. The big knock on Brock Purdy is that he's a system quarterback. He's just a system guy, So he posted a picture of him and his wife, they get married and all that. And somebody commented, beautiful picture, beautiful woman he married, beautiful picture of the wedding. And it's him and his wife. And somebody comments, system wife. And I was dying. And one of the other comments was the internet is brutal, whatever. I literally laughed out loud. I literally LOL, ladies and gentlemen. System wife. She's just a husband manager, is what she is. She's just a husband manager. Anyway, all right, that's enough of that. Don't redo Reddick deal. Just keep him on last year of the deal. And they are Super Bowl bound with better coordinators. No doubt. There we go. Thank you for finishing that. No, Jeff, just to comment on this. They need corner. I still need to see their corners. I don't think James Bradbury's here. I think the starting corners next year are Darius Slay and Keely Ringo. As of right now, it could be somebody they draft at 22. But I still got to see what they do with corners. Jack Driscoll is signing with the Dolphins. Stoutland U will be getting guys come draft time. Let's go. Absolutely, Sean. I think you're absolutely right. They're going to draft no lineman early. I don't know if it'll be the first round. I have to see how the board falls, but I think they're looking at the draft for corners and offensive linemen. I would love to say linebackers. This brought in who is it? Warren from the San Francisco 49ers as well. But I think their top priorities are O-line and corner. I think corner before O-line, but you drafted best player available, 22. Not for depth or whatever. Carlos, you hear Cilio ripping the Eagles? I did not. Did not see that. Signing with you. Let's go down you. Carlos, do you think Kelsey will change his mind and come back? No. I do not think Jason Kelsey's going to change his mind and come back. I don't. By the way, how about Kylie doing the Irish jig? I got to tell you, man, as someone who is not at all Irish, I do respect the Irish a lot, man. You guys, I always say eat with the Italians, party with the Irish, man. And I don't know, last time she did the old Irish jig. Excuse me if I'm not saying what is properly. I am not of the culture, but I respect it. I like it. She just gets right in tune with them, man. Just right in tune with them. That is something that's beautiful. Something that's beautiful. My buddy Jer at my wedding, very Irish. Okay, he was born in America, moved over to his mom's Irish, like Irish from Ireland, right? Moved over there when he was I think it was 5th, 6th, 7th grade. He went to school over there. His dad got a job over there too. Moved to America, to Ireland, a couple years there, and then came back. So he did that. He does the Irish dance and all that. He was at my wedding and started doing the Irish jig. And for those who don't know, I got married in Italy. I got married in Siena, and he's doing this Irish jig on the dance floor. And we're loving it. We're like, oh, keep going, Jay. This is incredible. And he's like, no. It's not my moment. It's not my moment. I'm like, I am the damn groom here. It is my day. Don't listen to the bride. It's my day. You dance that Irish jig, my friend. And he did, and it was awesome. Anyway, to answer your question, no, I don't think Jason Kelsey will be back. What is this? The fact the Steelers told Justin Fields that Russ was the starter, but the media says Kenny didn't want to compete is so hypocritical. Says Burr. The fact that I don't have any problem. Yeah, I don't. You got demoted. Like, they weren't trading for Russell Wilson, and then already reports of a long-term deal. I don't blame Kenny Pickett at all. He said Philadelphia is a great reset for him. That's the way he should be looking at it. Now we hope he never has to play, but if he does play, he plays great. Look, let me say this. And I think this is even more true with things we've gone through fairly recently in Philadelphia. There is no one player there is no one person that is ever bigger than the team. I like Jalen Hurts. I would love Jalen Hurts to be the quarterback for the next 10 years here in Philadelphia, playoff appearances, MVP performances, blah, blah, blah. I really like Jalen Hurts. I want him to be successful here. But if Jalen Hurts can't cut it, turn the page. Who's the next guy? Is that Kenny Pickett now? If something happens with Jalen Hurts, if he sucks this year with these weapons, that's really bad. If he's hurt and Kenny Pickett comes in and thrives, well, then Kenny Pickett becomes the guy. It's a very simple thing. And this is where it goes true more than anything. In Chip, we trust. In Hinkie, we trust. I don't care. I don't root for just individuals here. We don't get parades for just an individual performance. We get parades for a team winning. Whoever puts that team in the best possible position to win, I am all for that guy. I would like that guy to be Jalen Hurts. He's a starter now. He's the guy with big money now. He's the guy that already has the reins. You always want that guy to be the guy. You never want that guy to not be the guy. Like, you don't want to ever have to, I have to stomach another season of Jalen Hurts. Oh, God. No, you don't want to feel like that. But if somebody else gets the opportunity to play and they play well, hey, all systems go, man. Over a long period of time where it's like, yeah, you can't make a change now. Where it's like undeniable. One of the things that I really cherish, and I apply this to sports because I think it's a brilliant thing. Comedic actor Steve Martin says he gets asked all the time about how to make it in Hollywood, but all that stuff. And he always says, like, people want a blueprint so they could check every box in the blueprint and then they could go and say they've been successful in Hollywood. But what he says is, be so undeniably good that they can't ignore you. Is that not a great way to sum up sports? Like, people talk about politics in sports, and I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about, this guy was drafted high, so that he's got to play, that kind of thing. Be so undeniably good they can't ignore you. It's as simple as that in sports. Now, sometimes, this guy was drafted at this spot, so this guy's the big free agent signing with big money. He's not that good, but we're paying him, so we got to play. For the young guy on the roster, for maybe the more inexperienced guy, the undrafted guy, be so undeniably good they can't ignore you. That's every athlete's advice that they should take to heart. That's by a comedic actor, but I think it's applicable to everything, not just sports, not just acting or comedy, life. It's applicable to life. Be so undeniably good they can't ignore you. Very simple thing. They feel like they in Pittsburgh could shove them aside. BRRR, burr, and that's that. Mays and McCoy. Okay. Hassan is gone. Yep, I agree. What's going on? How are you? So the cap situation looks like for the Eagles is $39.2 million. Howie doing his thing. It's amazing. Players are free when it comes to Howie Roseman. Oh, is that why you got flagged? Well, that's funny. James Alexander. Cowboys fans are very immature and don't know how to act when their team loses in the playoffs. They've kind of stopped aging at 95. Their calendar still says 1995, if you could believe that. April. I love to see the Cowboys make things harder for themselves. April, day drinking. Day drinking and the Sixers, not good pairing. Yeah, it wasn't great. I am very proud of myself. I haven't lit a cigar in a long time. I haven't lit a cigar in a long time, and I almost did yesterday, but I knew that would just put me out because if I have a cigar, I have to finish the cigar. And if I'm having a cigar, then it means I need to drink more bourbon. That's the last thing I needed yesterday. So I was responsible. And plus I could take a nice long siesta after that. So I did. Oh, I meant to mention this earlier. Hutch, thank you so much. Farzi, have you heard anything about Harper's back issue? Is it something serious or the Phillies letting him rest? As of right now, he said it's not serious. He just needs rest. If you've ever had, you don't have to be a professional athlete for this, but if you've ever had any type of back issue, they don't get better quickly. So I do have concern about Bryce Harper and the back situation. For me, it's not going to be an issue till the regular season starts. Then it'll be an issue. But as of right now, I'm not terrified. Gross. Sean Kilrain. Ray Dininger said Bryce Huff is Jason Babin. Hopefully that's not the case, but the Godfather is usually not wrong. Jason Babin had an 18-sack season and then like a 4-sack season. What was Jason Babin's numbers? I don't think Jason Babin has – I think Bryce Huff has more speed than Jason Babin. Jason Babin was really good, but he's also really powerful. That's one of the things that Bryce Huff said he has gotten better at over the course of his career. Wow, Jason Babin. Good Lord, Jason Babin. 6'3", so he's got about 3 inches on him. What was that year? He came to Philly, went to Tennessee, came back to Philly. 7-sack season. Oh, 18-sack season. Then he was either cut or traded. I don't remember. Yeah. He had 5.5 sacks with the Eagles the following year through 11 games. That's still pretty good. Then he went to Jacksonville. Oh, wow. I forgot to play with the Ravens this last year. That's crazy. Numbers-wise, maybe. I got to hear that. I didn't hear him say that, but I'm not doubting that he said it. I just have to hear the context of it in terms of how he's made that comparison. Hopefully it's not like a one-and-done type thing. Brian, what's going on? How you doing? As much as I love spring, everything is yellow here. James Alexander, Chip Kelly was the worst ever in Eagles history. Farzi, how about them Sixers? Says Jason, Kyle Lowry playing so much better than I expected. And Oubre needs to be re-signed. I am for all of it. I love the way Kelly Oubre has been bringing it lately. Aggressive, attacking the rim, left and right, making things happen. Love every second of it. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful. Absolutely wonderful, as per usual. Let's get to the Morning Rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars, skymotorcars.com. Let's do this thing and get rid of that. There we go. All right. 76ers, as I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, are back at it to start a West Coast road trip, 4-game West Coast road trip. Get ready for the late nights, ladies and gentlemen. 10 o'clock, 10:30, 3:30, and then 10 o'clock again. So they're in Phoenix tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 10 o'clock against the Suns. That's how that'll play out. As for your Philadelphia Flyers, they're back on the ice in South Philly tonight, 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, I promise, I will show you video of Gritty dunking me in the dunk tank at the Flyers Charities Carnival. So you won't want to miss that. We'll have some funsies with that. This is incredible. I teased one thing in hockey before, when the show started, other than just the Flyers. I am not an Alexander Ovechkin fan. He has played against the Flyers enough, and he's been awesome against the Flyers enough. I do not like Alexander Ovechkin. However, I do respect him. I do like him more than Sidney Crosby because Sidney Crosby plays for the team I hate more than anything in sports. Yes, including the Cowboys. But last night, Alexander Ovechkin netted his 20th goal of the season against the Flames. He has, let me make sure I have this right. Yeah. 18 straight seasons with 20 or more goals. That is, I mean, look, Gretzky's the greatest ever. All right. Gretzky's the greatest ever. But you're talking about goal scorers extraordinaire. Alexander Ovechkin, now 38 years old. Looking at his stats, you have to respect it. Goals, 843. I never thought I'd see anybody get past Gretzky's numbers in terms of goals scored. But holy Stromboli. Let's see here. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 now. 19 straight games. Or 19 straight games. 19 straight seasons. Every year of his career. Just marvel at this guy. Absolutely marvel. And by the way, I'm selling him short. He had 2 goals last night, so 21. Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show, presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Hey, look, we're going to get a little bit more into the Eagles odds. Saquon Barkley's over-under, Super Bowl odds as well tomorrow. Seamus McCaffrey's going to join the show of Philly Voice. He broke it all down in yesterday's story, and he also talked about Saquon Barkley in general, just the impact he's going to have on this Eagles offense. So Seamus McCaffrey will be joining us, or Seamus Clancy, excuse me. Seamus Clancy will be joining us from Philly Voice tomorrow on the Farzy Show, so don't miss that as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys subscribe on the Farzy Show YouTube channel. Also, make sure you subscribe on Jacob Media as well. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. See you tomorrow.